Recently, I've been asked why I don't broadcast on YouTube. And to be honest, it was because time wise, their allotment that they allow there was only 10 minutes, and the show ran an hour. So instead of trying to cut through a segment and piece something together to put on there, instead, I've decided to not every week, but periodically post something here on YouTube. Today, I would like to talk about uh, how should I put this? I don't want to call anyone out in particular, but I made a post the other day uh, alerting people to the American Bully World site and the radio program Back to the Bullies. I suggested people listen to it, and I think, me personally, it's a very thought provoking show. It's not a show about breeders in specific. They cover every topic conceivable when it comes to bullies. And I was just trying to give people the heads up. And I kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, I guess you could say. And that was not my intent. I'm not trying to say that my way is better than anyone else's way, or that this is a new concept of how to approach things. Just this is just my take, and take it for what it's worth. My opinion might not necessarily be the opinion of everybody, and I understand that and acknowledge it. But don't be so quick to judge just because I posted that and assume that by doing so, I am a breeder advocate. I don't agree with a lot of things that go on, but yet I'm not one to be so close-minded as to just not hear their side of the story and just dismiss them, because really, ultimately, what does that solve? If you're going to stand on two opposite sides of the street on opposing views and throw rocks at each other, that's really not going to get anything accomplished. And like I said, this is not a new concept. There's other people that think this way and feel this way. And I guess my main reason for doing the video today is just to try and stress to people, just because you disagree with somebody and their opinion, don't dismiss it. At least have, you know, the decency to hear them out and see what they have to say. Some of my rescue friends are less than happy with me, but I rescue. I'm going to continue to rescue. And just because I suggest listening to a radio program that maybe there is more breeders on that site than there is on Pitbull Positive, that doesn't mean I'm promoting breeders or I'm promoting. But I'm not gonna hate them for what they do. My goal is to be able to engage in a dialogue between the two of us and somehow come to some resolve between their views and my views. And I might not be. I'm not going to convince everybody. I'm not naive to think that things I say is going to convince everybody, but I know that some people are going to be convinced, and that to me is a battle won, whether it be one or 100. And I just take it day by day. Once again, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I am adamant about finding different ways to work together to find some resolve and a solution, because there's a solution to every problem. And I appreciate the fact that everybody is so supportive, and I get a lot of good feedback. But once again, I'm not in this for the pats on the back, although they're nice and I appreciate them very much. But that's not what I'm in it for. I'm in it for the dogs. I'm in it so that people will better understand the breed as a whole. And like my good friend Chris pointed out to me today on the phone, sometimes even us responsible owners have to be careful in things we say in regards to our breed. We were talking about how, for instance, being a multiple pit bull owner in a house, that some people find it necessary to have a brake stick involved just for that, just in case thing. And it's better safe than sorry. Now, if we as a community understand that, but if you were to be engaged in a conversation with someone who didn't have that much knowledge about pit bulls, and you brought that up, trying to pass on some, you know, some of our ways of being responsible owners, they would maybe perceive it as not us being responsible, but perhaps looking at the breed as, wow, I don't know that I want to own a breed where if I get two of them, I have to utilize a brake stick. So it's sometimes it's just thinking before we speak, exchanging information with each other's, because up until Chris pointed this out to me, I really hadn't thought about a lot of the things I say. And in retrospect, when I think back about it today, some of the things that I've said publicly on Facebook and on the show to the casual observer who is our target audience ultimately, you know, if we've got to get to the people who have no knowledge of the breed so we can stop the myths, but to some of them, some of the things we say when we're defending our breed actually may deter them from ever considering getting a pit bull. You know, we often say that not everybody should be a pit bull owner, which to us, we understand it, but to somebody who doesn't understand our breed, they don't fully understand why we say that. You know, and it could discourage perhaps somebody who could be an exemplary owner from ever even entertaining the thought of getting a pit bull. So, like I said, I can't emphasize enough, in my opinion, one of our biggest hurdles is the infighting, and how we can never just agree to disagree on certain topics. And I think if we can overcome, you know, and get past that and try and work together to find solutions to the problems that we find ourselves in, it's better for the dogs. And ultimately, that's what most of us are in it for, is to help the dogs. You know, I don't know too many pit bull breeders myself. I know a few. Um, they've opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And to be quite honest, when we started the site, right at the top of the page, it said, if you're a breeder, this may not be the spot for you. But in talking with different people, you know, there's responsible people out there, and their dogs are not the ones showing up in the shelters. They're not breeding, you know, 5, 6 litters from a dog. There is responsible people that are breeding, and realistically, we cannot look at this as like all breeding has to stop, because what, in 5 years there are no more pit bulls, the breed's extinct. That it just doesn't seem like a realistic approach to a solution. And I'm not saying that my opinion is the right one every time. I'll acknowledge that, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of criticism, and I hold myself up to that. But I got a big freaking mouth, and I ain't afraid to talk. So that's why I'm on here, and that's the message the only message I'm trying to convey is, let's try to work together to find a solution, because there is a solution to every problem. It's just finding it and finding different ways to approach things, because it seems to me that up until now, whatever we've been doing hasn't been working. So it's like anything else. You can't beat a dead horse. You've got to find another way of approaching it. And it's not a novel concept. I'm not the originator, but let's just all work together on this. Please, I implore you. So, in closing, thanks everybody for taking the time to watch this. Like I said, my opinions may not be the opinions of everyone, and I appreciate that. And I don't begrudge you your opinion. If you disagree with the way I feel, send me an email. Maher1965 at yahoo.com. You know, tell me how you feel. I want to know. I want to have people's input, but I also want people to be a little bit more open to working with each other. I know there are people out there that feel the same way, and if we can just get everybody on board, we all share a common goal. We don't like the way that our breed is portrayed in the media. We don't like the situation with dogs being put down at such a rapid rate because of overpopulation. So the only way we're going to stop it is if we work together. And thanks again. Till next time.